Imagine this for a second. You walk into work and your tasks for the day, they weren't assigned by a person, by a manager who knows your name. Nope. They were generated by an algorithm that knows your, quote, efficiency curve. And your next raise, that's not decided in some stuffy meeting room. It's calculated by a neural network that's analyzed thousands of data points about every single thing you do. This isn't science fiction. It's not some far-off future. It's happening right now. Today, we're going to dig into what happens when you pull the human element out of leadership and your boss is an algorithm. And this isn't just for gig workers anymore, like your Uber driver or your food delivery person. The algorithmic manager is making its way into the corporate world, and it's promising this incredible new era of productivity. But what does that actually mean for us, the employees? Is this the ultimate, fair, unbiased meritocracy, or is it something else entirely? Let's get into it. So, first things first, how can an AI even be a manager? I mean, what does that look like? Well, the answer comes down to a very specific kind of technology that's really changing the game, moving AI from just a tool that you use to a proactive, goal-driven system. Okay, so this right here, this is the key, an agentic AI. Unlike, say, a chatbot that just sits there waiting for you to type something, you can give an agentic AI a really high-level goal, something big, like make the sales team more efficient. And then it just goes. It figures out the steps, it picks the tools, it does the thing, all on its own. It's a proactive partner that, in this case, can also act as your manager. So why are companies racing to adopt this stuff? I mean, what's the big appeal? Well, the answer is pretty simple. It's the promise of perfect, totally data-driven optimization. The idea that you can eliminate all wasted time and resources. And how it works isn't magic. It's just this constant, repeating loop. First, it perceives what's going on. It ingests all the data, like how the team is performing. Then it plans, right? It figures out a new workflow, new steps. After that, it executes. It actually reassigns tasks through whatever apps you're using. And then, and this part is crucial, it reflects. It looks at the results to see if its plan actually worked. And then the loop starts all over again, constantly learning and optimizing. And this really shows you the incredible scale of it all. An AI can spot a bottleneck and totally reshape how a 500-person department works in real time to get rid of busy work. I mean, on paper, it's a completely flawless engine of productivity. But all that efficiency, well, it comes with a pretty profound change for the people working inside that engine. And this brings us to what is basically the end of the annual performance review. It's dead. Because when your boss is an algorithm, your review isn't once a year. It's continuous. It's relentless. It's happening every single second. Now, the argument for this, the big selling point, is that it creates a true meritocracy, right? The data doesn't play favorites. There's no such thing as the boss's pet anymore. But what do we lose in that trade-off? We're swapping out human subjectivity for algorithmic objectivity. But that objectivity can be completely blind to really important context. And these are the kinds of things the AI is watching. It's measuring your entire digital footprint. How fast do you reply on Slack? What's the sentiment of your words in a Zoom meeting? How quickly are you getting through your tasks? Everything you do becomes another number, another quantifiable metric. And that leads us to a very, very human problem. What happens when real life gets in the way of all this perfect data? An algorithm doesn't really understand the messy, unpredictable human parts of having a job. It has a really hard time with things like context, and especially empathy. I mean, think about it. A person, a human manager, they can offer discretion. They can see the bigger picture. They get that a temporary dip in your performance doesn't define who you are as an employee. They can connect the dots between a cause and an effect. But the algorithm, it just sees the data. It sees a number that's different from the norm, and it flags it as a problem. This is what some people are calling context blindness. And without a human being there to interpret the why behind the numbers, the system's reaction can be just chillingly impersonal, and a lot of times totally unfair. And this lack of context doesn't just impact your day-to-day work. It can actually define your entire career trajectory. Because when promotions are being decided by an algorithm, transparency can just completely disappear. This is such a critical question. Seriously, if the system crunches all your numbers and decides, nope, you're not fit for leadership, what can you do? What's the appeal process? This is this whole new challenge of explainable HR, trying to make these black box decisions transparent and give people a way to fight back. This table, it just lays out the problem so clearly. We're talking about an accountability gap. With a human, there's someone you can talk to, a process you can follow. But with an algorithm that's using these vague metrics like influence scores, who's accountable? The system? I mean, come on. That's a deeply unsatisfying answer when it's your career on the line. So, what's the solution here? Well, the future isn't necessarily a stark choice between a human or an AI. Actually, the most effective models that we're starting to see are the ones that combine the strengths of both. It's all about putting humanity back in the loop. And that brings us to this idea called the Centaur Leadership model. The idea is simple. Let the AI handle the logistics. Let it do the number crunching, the scheduling, the workflow optimization, all the stuff it's great at. That frees up human managers to do the things that only humans can do. Provide mentorship, give people a sense of purpose, and apply that absolutely critical layer of empathy and context. And look, this isn't just some nice corporate strategy. It's actually becoming a matter of serious governance. This directive from a White House memo, it highlights that for any AI system that impacts people's rights, and that includes their jobs and their careers, human oversight isn't just a good idea, it's a requirement. The crucial thing here is that accountability can't be an afterthought. It has to be designed into these systems from the very beginning. So, ultimately, this brings us to a really fundamental choice about the kind of workplace we all want to build. Is the ultimate goal perfect, unbiased efficiency, even if it comes at the cost of empathy? Or is there some irreplaceable value in having a flawed but understanding human leader? The algorithmic manager is here, and now it's up to all of us to decide how we're going to work with it.